Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something you've asked about, this idea, this often optimistic view that AI is going to create more human jobs.
Right. More jobs than it takes away.
Exactly. But is that really where we're headed? Or is something else, maybe something quite surprising, actually unfolding?
That's what we're diving into. We're going to try and cut through some of the noise, explore the real impact of AI on jobs, on society. And we've got a perspective here that really challenges that common narrative.
Yeah, the source material is fascinating. It's from a piece called AI Revolution, Beyond More Human Jobs. And what's interesting is it is optimistic about AI's future,
Right.
well, very differently from folks like Jensen Huang at NVIDIA or Sam Altman at OpenAI,
Yeah.
especially about work.
Absolutely. So our mission for you today is to really unpack this argument. Let's look at the evidence they present and consider what a world with maybe vastly fewer paid human jobs could actually look like. Might be some real aha moments here.
Okay, let's get into it. So the starting point is what we often hear from leaders like Huang and Altman, right? That AI is advancing, but it's mainly going to create jobs, not replace them.
Yeah, the idea that it's a tool enhancing us, opening up new opportunities.
That sounds good. Very reassuring.
It does. But this source, it argues pretty strongly that maybe they don't fully grasp the sheer scale of this revolution. It paints a picture more like, say, the 1800s for the super wealthy.
So,
Well, they reached a point where paid work just wasn't necessary for them. They spent time on arts, sports, socializing, charity, enjoying life, basically.
okay.
And the source contends that AI will soon do pretty much any job we do now, or could do, but much cheaper, much better, and crucially faster.
That's a huge difference from AI helps humans do more jobs. So let's break down that more human jobs idea with specific coding, for instance. We see studies, right? Coders using GitHub Copilot ship solutions 55% faster.
Right, and reported higher satisfaction. Sounds great for human coders.
Yeah, seems like AI is just making people better at their jobs.
Well, yes, today. But the source says that misses the bigger picture. You have to extrapolate. Think about it. GitHub Copilot is an AI assistant, helps write code faster. But then there's this report, Rohan Paul's report, about an OpenAI coder getting second place in a big international coding competition.
An AI coding.
An AI coder, yeah. The point being, these AIs learn from billions of lines of code instantly. They see patterns humans can't. So the source asks, who's going to be using Copilot even faster in the future? Probably vastly more proficient AI coders.
I see. So the tool gets used by the AI itself, potentially pushing humans out.
That's the argument. It makes human coders less competitive for the paid work eventually.
Okay, what about customer service? Another stat you hear is agents with a GPT-style helper solved issues 14% quicker.
And 34% quicker if there were notices. Again, efficiency gains for humans.
Right.
But again, the source says that's today. A GPT helper like ChatGPT gives AI assistance. But look at medical imaging. There are studies showing AIs alone read scans more accurately than doctors alone, or even doctors with AI help.
Wow. So the AI outperforms even the human AI team.
In some specific well-defined tasks, yes. Because it processes so much data, it learns from millions of examples. The source projects this forward and says, look, in a few years, AI agents will handle all customer service. Better, cheaper, autonomously.
That's a big claim.
Okay.
Writing and idea generation. Lab tests showed ChatGPT cutting business memo writing time by 40%, boosting quality 18%. Huge productivity jump.
Absolutely huge. But following the pattern, the source argues that in a few years, AIs will write all the memos, and most scientific papers too.
So if AI can synthesize info, find connections, generate text, how does that lead to more human jobs?
Exactly. Jensen Huang said jobs are only lost if we run out of ideas, but the source counters hard. We'll have way more ideas, orders of magnitude more, but AIs will generate them.
AI is generating the ideas themselves.
Yes. They point to Sakana's AI scientist. It's already shown it can theorize, research, write, publish papers, all on its own. Minimal human input.
That really is a potential game changer. Okay, let's shift to costs. Microsoft saved $500 million using AI in support and sales last year. That's concrete.
Very concrete. And the source just asks you to imagine the savings when even smarter AIs use these tools instead of humans.
The AI cost is electricity, not salary and benefits.
Precisely. It scales differently. Take legal work. The source suggests maybe AI leads to more legal work overall, more contracts, more disputes perhaps. But then the killer question, who does it?
Expensive humans.
Or, as the source puts it, vastly more intelligent and knowledgeable AIs who work 247 for the price of electricity. It reframes the whole cost-benefit equation.
It really does. Okay, let's dig into Sam Altman's points specifically.
Yeah.
He predicted people will do a lot more. Ability and expectation will both go up. Sounds promising, right? More capability for us.
It sounds promising, but the source uses filmmaking as an example. Soon, anyone can make a film with AI tools. Great. But then it argues soon after, AIs will know us much better than we know ourselves, and will be making the blockbuster films that we watch.
So AI takes over the high end too.
That's the idea. And it throws that phrase back at Altman, where's the artificial beef? Meaning, show us the actual new jobs that humans will do, that AIs can't do cheaper, better, faster. It's a direct challenge.
Okay, a strong counter. Altman also said, people will still care very much about other people and what they do. Our human connection.
And the source actually agrees with that. People will still care. But it argues this points towards universal basic income, UBI, not more jobs.
UBI. Why?
Because caring doesn't automatically equal a paid job. And here's a twist. The source highlights research showing AIs are already getting better at demonstrating empathy in online interactions than humans.
Better at empathy.
At least highly effective at simulating it. People find them non-judgmental, understanding. It's counterintuitive, but the research is emerging.
Huh. Okay. Altman's third point. People will still be very driven by creating and being useful. That feels deeply human.
Totally. The source acknowledges that's true. We are driven that way. But it argues that creativity, that usefulness, quote, will not be very marketable, meaning far fewer of us will earn a wage from it. We'll do it as volunteers, for pleasure, for community, not for pay.
And what about Altman's idea that future jobs will seem like playing games to us now?
The source basically says, okay, prove it. It challenges Altman. Come up with 10 of these very different new jobs that only humans can do, jobs AI can't dominate on cost, quality, and speed.
A persistent challenge. The source seems quite convinced Altman is underestimating the timeline and capability. It says he doesn't fully understand how soon AIs will be doing pretty much any conceivable job better than we can, including physical jobs via robots.
Yeah, and the analogy they use really brings it home for me. The author says they personally like doing dishes by hand, finds a good exercise.
Okay.
But then says, nobody in their right mind would pay me to do this for them.
Ah, right. Just because you enjoy it or can do it doesn't make it economically viable work.
Exactly. It's about marketability. Your personal preference doesn't create a paid job if a machine, or in this case an AI, can do it far more efficiently or cheaply if needed.
So what about Altman's other point, that betting against humans wanting more stuff is always a bad bet, implying endless desire creates endless work?
The source tackles that head-on. It says, sure, we will want more stuff, but AIs will be making it.
Okay.
Sure, we will keep playing status games, but no one will be paying us for this. Sure, we will continue to be very creative, but these will be our avocations, not our wage-paying jobs.
Avocations, not jobs. That's a fundamental shift.
It is, and it leads to a pretty serious warning. The source says these big AI companies, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI, they're creating this new world, and it will cause much suffering for many people if these corporations don't lead us in the right way.
That's a heavy responsibility, especially with predictions of, what, $20 trillion in new AI wealth by 2030?
Exactly. So the challenge laid down is, explain how people who lose jobs will still have money to live comfortably. Is it UBI? Is it something else? Or, if you stick to the more human job story, then, quote, show us the jobs that can't be replaced by AIs.
Does the source offer any examples of such jobs?
Very few. It mentions things like maternity nurses and similar jobs that absolutely require the human touch. That's about it. The list seems very, very short from their perspective.
Wow. So despite that stark warning about potential suffering if mishandled, the overall vision isn't negative.
No, surprisingly, it's incredibly positive, almost utopian, but just completely different from the more jobs future. The source believes the AI revolution will make the world so much more wonderful for absolutely everyone.
But how, if there are no jobs?
Because AIs become like rich uncles who ensure that we will never have to do a day's work for pay.
Rich
Metaphorically. The idea is AI generates the wealth to support everyone. People will work only at the jobs we want to work at for as long as we want to, and of course for no pay.
Working for fulfillment, not income.
Precisely. And the source concludes this is actually a much better world than one where there is a paid job for everyone, a world driven by passion, not economic necessity.
So wrapping this deep dive up, the real tension is between that familiar idea, AI creates more paid work, and this radically different vision, AI creates immense wealth, freeing humans from paid work for unpaid, passion-driven activities.
Exactly. And the takeaway for you, the listener, isn't just abstract. It's about maybe needing to fundamentally reevaluate what we mean by work, by value, by purpose in potentially the very near future.
Right. It's a deep question. Which leads us to our final thought for you to consider. If this second path unfolds, if our creativity and usefulness become primarily avocations, things we do for love or interest, not for a wage, how do we as individuals, and maybe as a whole society, redefine success, redefine contribution, maybe even redefine our own identities if they're not tied to a paid job, something to mull over?